What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Out of the Darkness. I am Q. Excited to be back, guys. I've been doing a lot of thinking during the time that I was off of my platform and off of YouTube. I did a lot of thinking, a lot of soul searching, I guess you would call it. And so, one of the things that's been frustrating me is, for the last year, we have seen our individual liberties eroded. We have seen churches shuttered. We've seen businesses that will never come back. They'll never be able to open again, financially ruined. We've seen individuals have to file for bankruptcy because their particular job wasn't considered essential. All under the disguise of keeping us safe, of keeping grandma and grandpa from dying of COVID. When we look back, we realize that majority of those things were done for the purpose of the election, right? They knew that the economy needed to take a hit because people couldn't go to the polls on November 3rd with a thriving economy, with wages going up, with unemployment being at a record low, with there being more jobs in the U.S. than there were people to fill them. You already knew how that election was going to go. They couldn't have people go to the polls with the United States being the leading oil producer in the world, with the exporter in the world, with the United States being for the first time in decades being energy independent. They could not allow people to go to the polls like that. And so they sold us this vision, this idea that the government knows what's best, and that they needed to shut us regular folks down, shut down our businesses, shut down our places of worship, keep us locked in our homes, and let us know how many people could go into a building, how many people had to stay out, how many of us had to wear masks everywhere we went. Our kids not allowed to go to school, even though our taxes didn't go down, even though our property taxes didn't go down. We still had to continue to pay teachers' salaries. And I would have thought that the people would have never stood for it. If you would have told me a year prior to that our people would sit by and allow those things to happen, I never would have thought that it was possible. The Great Reset is among us, guys. I know people talk about the Great Reset. The Great Reset. The Great Reset is simply this: it's globalism. The United States has posed a problem to the world for many, many years because in the United States, a person can go from welfare to a billionaire in one generation. A family can go from welfare to being completely independent and successful in one generation, is all it takes. And that poses a major problem to the globalist, the leftist. And it's not just the leftists that are globalists. Let's be very clear. It would be far too easy for us to assume that this is just left versus right, because this isn't. This isn't left versus right. This is elitism versus the common man, versus the everyday man. And the reason why people loved America wasn't because, or have loved America for so many years, wasn't because we had beautiful buildings, we had great businesses, that wasn't what it was. They just loved the idea that there was not an oppressive government that was holding you back from your full potential. That in this country, you could work your way to whatever you wanted to be. That your limits were set by you, and your upward trajectory was limited only by your willingness to work for it. We've taken it for granted in this country, but it's not like that everywhere. I have traveled the world, and I dare you to find a place with as much upward mobility, with as much promise as America has. But getting back to this whole COVID thing and Biden and his two masks and he's got to get a hold of this because the previous administration left a mess. No, the previous administration used the private sector to bring a not only the vaccine, because I'm not a fan. You guys already know that. But not only did the previous administration bring the vaccine, and understand when I say previous administration, I'm saying that tongue in cheek. But not only did they bring the vaccine, but they also brought therapeutics to where if someone does get COVID, you have a much better chance of beating it than it beating you. And a lot of that has to do with the therapeutics that our scientists and that our president pushed for. So, guys, I look at this and I think, man, we are in a pickle. But the truth being known, and this was all planned. I said it. This was all planned. There was a reason for all of this. And part of it was the election, yes. But they wanted to see how far they could go. They wanted to see how far they could take the people before they would finally say enough is enough. Some people have reached that point. Some people will just gladly follow whatever Uncle Sam tells them to do. But people are finally standing up and they're saying enough is enough. We're tired of our businesses being shut down. We're going to church. We're taking these dang masks off. We're not going to continue to live this way. This is not America. And not only us, but Spain, Australia, New Zealand, the UK. We're seeing these things all over. We have a group of elitists that want to tell us how we can speak, what we can say, what we cannot say. They want to tell us what jobs are essential, what jobs are not. That just because you spent how many hundreds of thousands of dollars to get your certifications and training to do a certain job and have now worked your way up the ladder so that now you are making a great deal of money as a petrochemical engineer or whatever it might be. That now, no, we're going to spend trillions of dollars. The government is going to spend trillions of dollars to put you out of business because you don't need that job anymore because you're doing harm to the environment. And not how can we make it more clean, how can we make it more respectful to the environment, how can we handle this in a way that we don't put people out of work, we don't take away their livelihood. But this is all part of the Great Reset, guys. We're going to start going through day by day, and I'm going to go deeper and deeper into the Great Reset because I think it's important for us to understand we're not fighting against the purple hair Democrat or the purple hair leftist next door. That's not our enemy. Our enemy are 13 families, 13 bloodlines, a group of 13 families that control much of what you do on a daily basis. Now, are some of those elitists broken off of that? Absolutely. I mean, there's how many people in Washington that are elitists that are grasping on to these families? Yes. But if we are going to break it down to its simplest form, there is a concerted effort between these families and powerful people within government that are looking to run your daily lives. And if you don't believe me, I can prove it to you. Biden wants to enforce COVID mandates or vaccine mandates. Now there's talk from his administration of passports so that they know who has taken the vaccine, who has not. The World Health Organization is talking about vaccine passports to limit travel and to limit where people can go if they have or have not had the vaccine. But we've had hundreds of thousands of people that have been welcomed into this country without knowing their vaccine history, without knowing what illnesses they might have. Their children are being stacked into these detention centers, and teachers are going in and teaching them face to face and then going home and spreading only God knows what to them. Guys, this is a farce. This is a farce. I'm not talking about COVID. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is the spirit behind all of this. This is about control. And it is high time that we learn that we need each other. We learn that there is a way forward, but we have to stop living in our bubble. We must let our voices be heard, but we must go into a teaching mode. It is time for us to educate the masses. People need to know what this agenda is and know that it will affect us all. The Green New Deal sounds like a wonderful thing until you realize that you are giving the government control over production, over travel, over housing, over real estate. It's important we wake up. It's important that we take our message to the people. So I'm going to let you guys go. Sorry for taking so long, but I've been gone for a long time, been thinking about a lot. I want you guys to take a few minutes, watch this, pass it on to others if you like. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe, but share if you will, because we need to get this message out. You guys have a fantastic day. Love y'all, missed y'all, and I don't plan on going anywhere anytime soon. Have a great day.